Captain, if you please give us a short log to start our game.
All right. Captain's Law, USS Navajo, Stardate 48478.5. Captain David Perone reporting. After our archaeological mission to the Ravathar system and our ghostly encounters there, a nice survey mission was just what the doctor called for. After my recent discussion with Ensign Vogel, I made a point of reminding the other department heads of the importance of ensuring that their staff get enough rest. The tension is rising with the Dominion. There may come a day soon when opportunities for nice, peaceful survey missions will be hard to come by. To that end, the Navajo is currently conducting a scientific survey in the Rolor Nebula, studying the gravimetric distortions of inside the nebula.
Yep. With that, we will head to the bridge of the Navajo. As the log stated, the Navajo is currently on the outer edge of the Rolor Nebula, conducting essentially a survey of gravitational anomalies in the region to help with better travel through the nebula, along with increased presence of Federation ships along with Starfleet ships as well.
Well, Lieutenant Ryan, how's it looking out there?
Let me check the sensor.
Solok checks his panel to check the engine status and the overall performance of the ship.
I wasn't going to make you roll for it. I was just going to see the information. Right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm typing it out, so just give me a minute. I do apologize.
It's okay.
Did he get any successes?
I don't have to roll. I'm just waiting for things to be typed out.
But with the roll that you did do, you got 2 successes. It's just warming you up for when we have to really roll.
No, right. Yeah, I gotta shake it loose. Out there right now, Captain, is just a lot of space dust. The gravimetric distortions seem to increase deeper into the nebula, but that's about all I can make out at this point.
Interesting. What plan does your department have for getting us a closer look?
Getting you closer is not my department, I'm afraid. That would be Commander Solok's job.
Logically, yes, the engines would get us closer. We could modulate the shields so that way they could compensate for the gravimetric distortions.
As long as the warp factor keeps in check, we should be fine.
Well, is there any way to increase our sensor resolution from where we're at?
That should technically be possible. It would also provide guidance so that way Helm would be able to navigate us away from certain distortions.
Ensign
Any
Vogel,
early warning will be greatly appreciated.
what do you think, Ensign Vogel? How close can we get?
Anything to send me, GM, or do you want me to RP it?
You can RP it.
Well, Captain, if we were to modify these shields and potentially reroute power to the inertial dampers, I can just wherever you need me to go.
I concur, sir.
Very well. Begin working on shield modifications. Well, we'll start making plans for coming with a way to map the gravitational distortions in the nebula for navigational purposes. Lieutenant Rhyme, placing you in charge of the scientific mission and figuring out learning everything we can about this nebula.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Solok taps the communication near his chair and says, Solok to engineering, prepare to adjust shield modulations for gravimetric distortions.
Engineering acknowledge. So you're taking the ship deeper in?
No, not until they're done adjusting the shields.
That doesn't take too long.
All right. Well, if my chief engineer assures me that the ship is ready for the beating,
I'm assuming, GM, that what you just said was confirmation that the shields have been adjusted correctly. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no roll.
Captain, the shields have been adjusted, and we are ready to proceed.
very well. Ensign Vogels, bring us to the edge of the nebula. 1/4 impulse power, please.
Right away, sir.
As the Navajo moves steadily into the nebula, the ship shakes a little bit every now and then. As you kind of feel the pressure of the gravimetric distortions. But the ship shield harmonics adjust along with the inertial dampers slowly. Lieutenant Rye, give me a reason plus science, difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's sensor science.
Okay. And is this would like astrophysics or stellar cartography or anything like that come into play here?
No, but you do have a focus.
Okay. Well, crap.
The ship was sensors and what?
Ship does not roll because there was no successes on the main roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
never
can't
mind.
assist unless I do good, and I fucked up. So there we go.
Do you wish to
Kind of
succeed at
tracks where
cost?
she is right now.
Do you wish to succeed at cost?
I'm. The player in me say yes, but the DM in me is like chaos. So I'm trying. Yes, let's go ahead and succeed at cost. Captain, I'm picking up some debris from seems several starships, along with the gravimetric distortions.
Federation or Klingon, or can you determine whose ships they are?
Seem to be getting Klingon signatures, sir.
When close enough to read any life signs?
This is you have studious, right? Yes.
Active,
This will
yes.
be your studious question.
Yes, are we picking up any life signs? No life signs, Captain, but this debris seems to have been weathered, for lack of a better term, for at least several hundred years at point. Varying in age, but some of it is very old.
Interesting. It would be interesting also to know if there were any Klingon ships that disappeared in this area centuries ago.
As
Captain,
the red alert sirens go off, the ship suddenly is impacted by several small parts of the debris and is shaken, causing damage to your outer hull structure. You take one breach on your hull to structure.
Solak orders damage control parties to that sector.
well, that was a little closer than I thought they were when you told me about them, Lieutenant. But as long as they're that close, let's. How big are those pieces? Anything we can bring on board and see if we can identify?
Captain, with these shields up, it will be difficult to transport debris on board. We would have to lower the shields or weaken them in order to transport debris aboard.
Yeah, we'll tractor them into the shuttle bay. We can open a small hole in the shields back there.
Acknowledged.
But first, let's see if there's pieces small enough to bring on board.
This will be a detractor piece of it in. It's going to be a control plus security assisted by the ship's structure security difficulty of 2.
I assume then there are pieces small enough to bring on board.
What hit you was actually a warp nacelle that just kind of got pushed by the gravimetric distortions. Like kind of slammed against the hull of their ship.
That doesn't sound small enough to fit in the cargo hold.
No, but there's lots of small pieces. I'm just letting you know, like that's what hit the ship. And but there are like small hull fragments scattered.
And if it involves security, someone might want to have Johansson do the role.
Lieutenant Wright, anything in the debris field that might contain a engine core or a so-called black box? Or not engine core, computer core is what he meant.
He would have said the right word. We know. It's okay. No, Captain. I'm afraid not.
All right, Ensign Johansson. Bring us in small pieces. Bring us in a few small pieces to investigate, see if we can identify these Klingon ships. Volg, are you detecting any more debris in our path?
Not at the moment, sir, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled.
And if you want to roll for Johansson, Captain, I believe this is the second time we've used her, so that I think we can give something to her.
Oh, this would be her 4th activation, actually.
There you go.
Oh, she's doing pretty good here. Actually, for her 4th, why don't we bring up her? I seem to remember something in 2nd edition where you only get to give a supporting character one advancing attribute. You can only do that once. Is that right?
1 in attributes and 1 in disciplines. It's the same between both systems. So the only way to like increase that is to use your main character's milestones to do that.
Well, what do you guys think? She's got that super low reason. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up to an 8.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I like it.
Especially after the last mission that we had with her.
All right, her role was what in security? Control security?
Control security assisted by the ship's structure security.
Difficulty
Okay.
2.
All right, well, we'll go chance it here and just roll it flat and hope. bollocks. It's going to be another one of those nights, isn't it?
Ship might help. Well, you
Yeah.
succeed. There's a complication. No momentum gained.
Yeah, and since I didn't give you a threat, I don't have any rerolls, so we'll eat that complication.
Nom 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 nom.
As Johansson tractors beams in, some of the debris into one of the shuttle bays. In terms for the complication, um, she ends up tractoring a bunch more of debris that kind of sets it on, like, kind of scatters it across the hall. Further, causing more impact craters on the hull that need to be fixed.
If we keep this up, we're going to need a new paint job the next time we're in Space Dock.
I have sent additional damage control parties to those areas, Captain, to address the additional damage.
Probably not the best time to have damage control parties painting the outside hull.
Not painting, sir, but assessing if there is any additional damage other than superficial.
Not looking back, not doing changing her duties. Over her shoulder, she just says sarcasm, and just keeps working.
Sarcasm. You would like me to provide the definition of that word?
I think she was trying to give you a hint, Commander.
Oh, you were expressing sarcasm. Is that what you were saying, Captain?
Yes,
One might have just said so.
that defeats the purpose.
I personally do not see the purpose in sarcasm, but if you see purpose, then it must have merit of some kind.
That's okay. Sarcasm is the tool of truly enlightened species.
Were you being sarcastic in saying that, sir?
Yes.
I see. Well, I shall do a better job of trying to detect sarcasm. Perhaps there is some sort of indicator that I'm not aware of.
I'll work on getting a sign for you.
Thank you, Captain. That is very kind of you.
Sorry, baby's hitting the button.
Debris is in the shuttle bay, is in the cargo bay area now, Captain. We can send teams down to analyze it if you wish.
Captain, sensors are picking up deeper into the nebula. There appears to be a slightly more intact Klingon vessel, however far ahead.
Do we have a safe path to get to it?
Is that a helm question or an engineering question?
I'll have a DM typing.
Okay.
Kind of safe. Kind of. It's gonna be kind of up to Vogel. Safe-ish.
Anson, you up for riding some gravitational waves?
What I live for, Captain.
Then take us in. Speed at your discretion. Let's try not to put too many more scratches on the paint.
Just builds more character, Captain.
Well, a famous Earth philosopher once said, "Chicks dig scars."
I fail to understand why chickens liking scars has anything to do with what we are doing right now.
I should probably start working on a cheat sheet, huh?
Oh, this is a term that means something else that I'm not familiar with. I should look this up. Ah, I see. You are referring to the female species enjoying scars of some kind, Captain. That is what you meant?
Right. I hear women find scars sexy.
Well, fixing superficial damage to the ship and its paint job is actually quite simple to fix. Only a matter of hours. We don't even need a space dock for that. I would not recommend us doing it here, but it should not take enough time for us at all to fix the paint job, unless, of course, you would like it to have scars.
Well, it depends on how much like the Klingons the Dominion is. Maybe a rugged appearance of a ship that's seen battle will have them think twice.
Captain, speaking of the Klingons, it might be prudent for us to contact the Klingon Defense Force to let them know that we have discovered the remains of Klingon vessels and potentially an intact Klingon vessel in this area. These vessels could have been missing for some time and might hold significance to the Klingon Defense Force in some way.
I agree, Commander. I plan to see if we can tow that Hulk out of the nebula and learn a little more, so I have something to actually tell the Klingons, other than, "Hey, we found one of your ships."
We could also continue to analyze the debris. It might give us some indication as to the ship's identity. The debris here that we found, potentially the ship that was attached to the nacelle that hit our vessel.
Almost certainly.
We can cross-reference this with any information that we have about Klingon ships that had gone missing in this sector of space. We were saying that these ships potentially are hundreds of years old. There might be some way for us to find additional information about that.
No, once we've identified the ship, we might be able to contact. We'll be able to contact the Klingons and find out who she is and where she got lost.
In the meantime, it is only logical for us to proceed and find more information about the other Klingon ship that Sensors has detected.
That's what we're working on.
Well, to navigate over to the other ship is going to be a daring con, assisted by the engines con of the Navajo. Difficulty of 3.
All right, give me 1 second. I just got home. Let me get back onto the computer.
And I'll try and roll for the ship, just to see if I can do it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry,
Yes.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, just testing. I just got back on the computer.
So the ship is engines con?
Yes, engines con.
Yeah, I'll just wait for Vogel to roll.
We have no momentum.
We have no
Nope.
momentum.
We
about
have
you
sucked tonight.
How about you get us some?
All right. How about would you take the value precision in every maneuver, GM?
Sure, I'll take that.
Daring, you say?
Yep. It's a lot of debris, gravitational distortions. It's not an easy task.
All right. Go ahead and take a threat.
Thread the needle.
Leaf on the wind.
No, don't you bring that into this house.
Just need the ship's engines con.
I'll do it right now.
Oh, and I have faith of the heart, so we do get a free momentum to the group pool.
Woohoo!
Yay.
So it's total, I guess, with the faith of the heart. Gain 3 momentum.
And that'll be my untapped. So there's a bonus there.
So yeah, you have a bonus. What do you wish to spend the bonus on?
Is it possible to use the bonus in one more to get a good map of the area as I'm flying by, or what the captain commanded earlier to map as we go type thing?
This is like a trait.
Uh,
I'm thinking like advantage
Um,
creation in the future so that we know what to avoid on the way out if we need to get out here quick.
the issue with this area, it's very turbulent with the gravitational distortions. It's pushing debris all over the place. Um,
Can we get a idea of where those eddies are that is causing the turbulence so that we can avoid those areas?
I'll put it this way. I'll let you have if for your character only the for an extra momentum for the trait creation that you have you've kind of gained a feeling like when you see like distortion pop up, so you can have a reduced difficulty when trying to navigate. That you've kind of gotten used to looking at the sensors and kind of seeing like, oh, there's a distortion here. I can maneuver out of the way a little bit.
I'll take it. It sounds like the Badlands all over again.
Uh, Ensign Vogel, as you navigate closer to this abandoned Klingon vessel, as you put it on the view screen, I do not have a view screen image of it, so I apologize. You definitely clearly see it is a Klingon D7. Appears to be slightly an older model. You can definitely tell there seems to be the internal lights are still on it, though some areas of the ship seem to be darkened.
Lieutenant, are we able to discern the name of this D7 Klingon vessel?
With that, though, you guys you have to give me a reason science difficulty 2, assisted by sensor science, to scan the ship.
Okay. Starship recognition,
Yes, I'll take that.
and I'm gonna pop one for cautious and see if I can get extra momentum. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll that 20. Un memento.
Can you roll the ship as well, please?
Sure.
Great roll, by the way.
Thank you. And it was sensor science?
Yes, so you're rolling 2 dice for the ship.
Fuck.
Gain 2 momentum. There's a complication.
I mean, we had what, like 8 complications last session?
Yeah, it was just a complication fest last session.
You're halfway there. Just FYI.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
We should keep track so we know when we break our record. All right, Lieutenant Wright, let's get a detailed scan of that Klingon ship. I want to know. I'm particularly interested in whether or not what's left of it will withstand the rigors of being towed.
And if we determine the name of the vessel, we can cross-reference it with the main computer to see if there's any history of its disappearance.
Well, I'm definitely detecting multiple hull breaches. According to my sensor scan, it is the IKS. I might butcher this. Votak. Voktak. To TikTok. The IKS TikTok.
Volta.
That word right there. Votak.
The GM will be so kind as to put that in the Discord chat so that for everybody's logs.
And and Solok will run that ship through the computer to determine if there's any history of its disappearance. Or any history of the ship at all.
Just as you're about to do that, Johansson goes, Captain, we're being hailed. Appears to be audio only.
Put it on speakers.
Possible survivors. Interesting.
I didn't have any life signs.
Yep.
Perhaps it's the automated audio from the ship.
Perhaps. Johansson, on speakers, please.
This is Lord Karath of House Karath. To whom do I owe this pleasure?
Karath, this is Captain David Perone of the Federation starship Navajo. You seem to be in some distress, Captain. Is your hull integrity strong enough for us to tow you out of this nebula?
We must continue our journey, Captain. It's of vital importance to us.
Your journey?
We are on a pilgrimage. I can't talk now, sorry. Pilgrimage. To the fabled land of Katu. It has not been found in centuries.
That is fascinating, Captain. But your ship seems to have undertaken some damage. Do you need assistance?
Captain, according to the ship's computer, this Klingon vessel belongs to House Karath. We will attempt to find out if there's more information about this house.
We could use some assistance, Captain, though our life support is failing. Any help would be appreciated if we could continue on our pilgrimage.
Very well, Captain. We would be happy to assist. Ensign Vogel, can you bring us a little closer, easily within transporter range? Yeah, scratch that. I don't want to lower the shields any more than I have to out here. Commander Solak, lead engineering team. Kick Ensign Vogel to pilot, and whoever else you wish to take aboard, and let's go render aid.
Acknowledged, Captain. Ensign Vogel, Lieutenant Rye.
Lord Karath will be sending a shuttle over momentarily with a repair crew.
He'll take himself, and he'll also take a security officer, GM.
Okay.
Let's just take Joan since she's already activated.
Yeah, we'll take her. Besides, I don't think a Tellarite on a Klingon ship is a good idea.
Let's not make this worse. I already got a bad feeling.
All right. Vocal, you expertly pilot the over towards the Klingon vessel, which they allow you to board, where you're greeted by 2 Klingons.
To the 2 Klingons, Solak says, "Greetings. I am Solak. This is Ensign Vogel, Lieutenant Johansson, and Lieutenant Rye of the USS Navajo. To whom am I speaking with?"
I am Darak, son of Karath, and this is Kara.
Darak, Kara. It is only logical for you to show us where your ship is damaged so that we may assist you.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
He says, "Please show us to the area of your ship that needs the most assistance so that we begin our repair efforts. Our orders are to assist you in repairing your vessel best of our abilities."
Of course, right this way. And he escorts you. You can see that there's a lot of. It seems like the ship is operating like on a skeleton crew as you start walking through. Um,
As we're walking, Solak turns to Ryan and says, "Lieutenant, you're sure your sensors did not detect any life forms?"
I don't think so. I mean, the second scan when the ship popped up, I didn't see anything light up with it, but
Then it might require us to do a diagnostic of the sensors, since clearly there are life forms.
out of game.
out of game,
I'll
I
spend a
didn't.
momentum.
There was life signs. There was only like 6.
Oh, okay. So at first there were none, and then we came across life signs.
So I didn't give you the information because that's not what you
Okay.
scanned for. So
Okay. So yeah, that was okay. Yeah, that never happened.
So instead, this is a D7 ship, which this type of ship, Solak would know. This ship is like what, 100 years old, something like that. Like
over,
the
yeah.
D7 hasn't been, yeah, well over 100 years. So Solak would see this almost as a museum piece. You'd say, most interesting, Klingon D7 class ship. These ships have been decommissioned for many years. This is a museum piece in many ways, a marvel of engineering in many ways.
And out of game, GM, I'd like to spend a momentum to get a vibe check.
Commander, if I didn't know any better, I could swear you were being sentimental.
Not sentimental. Appreciative of good engineering. Klingons build ships to last. They are rugged, and they are difficult to damage. Though it is interesting that a vessel of this kind would be able to survive for this long in this part of space, with all of these gravimetric anomalies around.
Huh. We've only arrived here a week or so ago, Commander. As for the ship, this has been in our family for 2 generations.
I see. So this ship is something that you had, I believe the term is mothballed, but you brought it out of mothballs and decided to take it to this part of space as part of your pilgrimage.
The ship has not been mothballed. It has been in service since then.
Most interesting.
Though it
For a
is
vessel
not
of
the
this,
finest of one of our vessels.
for a ship like this to remain in service is quite a feat, an engineering feat. My congratulations to you.
As you arrive to sort of like the damaged areas, give me a reason plus engineering difficulty of 1.
Reason engineering difficulty 1. Just going to roll it. Repairs and maintenance as a focus.
I'll take that.
FYI, GM is typing. Well, based on my analysis, it seems that this vessel is in short, needs a dry dock for completing its repairs. We would be able to get it working somewhat, but the life support system needs to be replaced. It is several years out of date. Duroc, it is my estimation that we will need to take your vessel to a dry dock for repair. It is not space-worthy.
Unfortunately, that is not possible.
Your life support systems are out of date and could fail at any moment. It is only logical for us to repair your vessel with the appropriate equipment.
Unfortunately, that is not impossible. We will waver what we can do here. Seems that Starfleet engineering is not up to spec to handle Klingon systems.
I would disagree with you on that. Your life support systems could fail at any moment, despite your best efforts. This is no failing of any particular side. It is just simply the reality of the situation. And out of character, GM, is there anything else that he could do to help support or maintain the life support system using what they've got right now?
No, it's severely damaged.
Damaged by the gravimetric stuff in space, right?
It most likely happened because of that, due to an overload.
Mm.
So that's why it needs to be replaced.
And he says that the damage to your life support system due to the extremities of space is most severe. It is best for you and for your crew to receive the repairs that are needed. Otherwise, it is unlikely you will survive your journey to your destination.
Then we die with honor, knowing that our quest is noble.
If that is your preference. Solok taps his comm badge and says, Solok to Captain Perone.
Report, Solok.
This Klingon vessel needs a dry dock in order for repairs to be completed. Its life support system has been severely damaged. I do not think that this ship is spaceworthy, but the Klingons on board seem to insist that they proceed with their journey with the ship as it is, despite the fact that the life support systems, in my opinion, are not proper. This is due to damage from the gravimetric forces in space.
Well, we can't force them to take our assistance. Anything we can do to extend the life of their life support systems?
Very little, sir. It seems that a dry dock is the only thing that I could use here. The damage is quite extensive.
What about sealing off parts of that D7 and perhaps using some sort of portable life support generators? Give them at least some places on the ship where they would survive.
Out of character, GM, would Solok know that? So essentially, when you say that it's so damaged that it needs a space dock, is that to the point where even something like that would not be sufficient to maintain life on the ship?
Maybe in certain areas, but not to really maintain the functionality of the ship for any long periods of time.
So Solok says that we could maintain certain areas of the ship that would be livable, but the actual functioning of the ship would be severely affected.
Have they explained why they can't abandon their quest temporarily to get repairs?
Not as yet. And Solok turns to Duroc and said, Is there any particular reason why you are refusing our assistance in this endeavor? We would be able to help repair your vessel and allow you to continue to your destination. There would only be a delay. I do not see any loss of honor in that.
That is the decision for my father.
This is Lord Karath you speak of.
Yes.
Then we would like to speak with Lord Karath.
This way.
Stand by, Captain.
You walk the halls of the ship, sitting at a center chair, as I just kind of populate what, the bridge might look like. He walks up to it. Father. Ah, Tarak. My youngest boy. What have the Starfleet crew have helped with? They say that we need a dry dock. Huh. We must not abandon our pursuit.
Solok steps forward and he gives the Vulcan sign, and he says, My lord, it is an honor to be in your presence. I am Solok. To you and to your house I wish peace and honor for all time. These are members of our damage control party. I am the chief engineer of the starship vessel USS Navajo. I have assessed the damage of your vessel, and it is extensive. The life support systems on your vessel will fail within a certain period of time, and it is unlikely that you will reach your destination with a living crew. Based on that assessment, I recommend that this vessel be taken to a dry dock where proper repairs can be given to your vessel, and after which so, you may continue on your journey. It would be a delay, but you would be able to reach your journey. I see no loss of honor in this, unless I am missing something or am unaware of something that you can enlighten me of.
My visions have foretold that this incident would happen, and strangers would help us along our way. I see. This is merely a test, for Kotui waits for us. If you can offer no further assistance, then you can leave.
Kotue, could you educate me on that reference, my lord?
It is the sacred land of our people. I believe in the human tongue it's similar to something close to the Garden of Eden.
In Vulcan, there is a similar myth, and it's referred to as Shakari. You believe that this place actually exists?
I do. I've seen it. It calls to me. And I will be
It
the one
speaks,
to find it.
it speaks to you in your mind. You said that you spoke of visions.
Indeed.
And it is the desire of you and your crew to go to this place, even knowing that it is very unlikely that you will not reach it alive.
I have foreseen we will be walking the halls of Cthulhu soon enough.
My lord, forgive me. Is it not the test of your visions that you would accept the help of the strangers? And by allowing the strangers to assist you, you would be able to, with repairs to your vessel at a dry dock, eventually then proceed on your journey to, and what's the name of the place, GM? I'm sorry. Is it Kuri 2? Isn't that what it's called?
It's got a harsher sound to it, so, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then proceed to Kuri 2. Did your visions say that you would resist our help or accept it?
No, you would merely walk the path with us. Perhaps this is a discussion I need to have with your captain.
That is a very logical assessment, and it was the exact thing that I was going to recommend. And he taps his comm badge again and says, Captain Perone, Lord Karath would like to speak with you.
Certainly. Lord Karath.
You're Captain Perone, you say?
That's correct. I understand from my commander there that you are refusing our aid. We need to tow you to a dry dock for repairs so that your quest will be successful, but you're unwilling?
Captain, we are on a holy pilgrimage. If you truly wish to aid us, then you can help us get there. I have foreseen it. It is not too far from here.
GM, how many members of the crew are there? You think you said 6?
7. They're roughly 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Does that mean you know where Kyo 2 is then?
I do. It calls to me.
Solok speaks up and says, My lord, would you be willing to share with us your navigation charts as to the location of Kuri 2, so that way we may assist you?
I am guided by the other still hands of our ancestors. They show me the path.
If we were to show a star chart, would you be able to point out the location of Kuri 2 based on your visions?
It does not exist on any star chart, Commander.
It is outside the galaxy, you mean?
No, it is here, just not seen.
Here, as in the location that we are in right now.
Not here, but close. Very
Interesting.
close.
Very interesting.
Commander, what's the expected duration on that life support system?
GM, what would that be? Based on my analysis, Captain, 12 hours. And then the life support system will fail completely.
Lord Karath, how sure are you that the QA2 is here in this nebula?
The souls of those who've searched here and have perished trying to find it inform me that it is. For me, that is good enough.
Other ships that have searched for it, that would be the debris of the other ships inside the nebula.
Excuse me, Captain. I'll tell the Cation on our crew to be quiet.
Good luck with that. Apparently, it's Cation feeding time.
I mean, technically, there is a Cation on the bridge right now.
That's right. That's right. Solok turns to Rai and says, if Lord Karath's visions are correct, I guess the question that I have for you, Lieutenant, is, do you sense anything here that would suggest that he's misinterpreting his visions?
Uh,
Is there doubt in his mind? Is there hesitation?
I sense no deception. As with most Klingons I've met, he's in true belief of what he says.
Then scientifically, if there is some sort of way to reach a place that is both here and somewhere else that would suggest some sort of anomaly, wormhole, something along those lines, would you concur?
Lord Karath, your ship's going to last about 12 hours, according to my chief engineer. Now, here's what I'll do. I'll invite you and your crew aboard the Navajo, and we'll go looking for a QA2. Mind you, I will not risk the lives of my crew or my ship. We get to a point where I need to exit the nebula, then we're going to exit the nebula. We agreed?
Agreed. Believe me, Captain, I will not disappoint. For my honor and my house's honor is at stake.
As you say. Commander Solik, you got enough room in the shuttle for Lord Karath and his crew?
GM Dewey?
I assume you took like the Type 8, which would have enough room.
We should be able to squeeze everyone on board comfortably, Captain.
Yeah, then ask Lord Karath to gather what he needs for the rest of the search, and invite them aboard the Navajo.
Understood, Captain. Lord Karath, any information, technology, or equipment that you need in order for us to continue the search, please have your crew gather it and meet us in the shuttle bay, and we will bring you back to the USS Navajo.
Thank you, Commander. We'll be there shortly.
Captain, I also recommend that we dispatch a buoy of basically a space buoy here, so that we may be able to track the location of this Klingon vessel as it drifts in space.
It's a sound recommendation, Commander.
And with that, Solak and the damage control party make their way back to the shuttle bay.
All right. After about an hour, eventually the Klingons come bearing some luggage, a few things, bat lifts, weapons. They go, I trust you don't mind if we bring these here. We surely have no plans to use it against you. But you never know what wearing beast waits in a corner.
Should be acceptable.
Excellent. As he gives a hearty Klingon smile. And you head back to the ship. Scene change, so you go down on momentum. So currently you have a bunch of Klingons on board.
Yeah, during the hour that while the clans were getting ready, I would have had my yeomen prepare appropriate quarters for them and made sure security understood that we were having guests that needed a subtle eye looked on them.
Um, After a few moments, one of the security officers says, chimed at the bridge, Captain Lord Karath wishes to see you.
Bring him up to the bridge, and I'll see him in my ready room.
Captain Perone.
Lord Karath, it is an honor to meet you.
The honor is mine. Is your ship ready to depart?
We are. We're going to drop a buoy on the. We're going to drop a navigational marker on your hull, on the hull of your ship, so we can keep tabs of it. Yeah, maybe when this is over, we'll tow it out so you can have it fixed anyway. Now tell me, how do we find QA2?
If you don't mind, Captain, I would like you to tow our ship during our journey, if that is acceptable.
We can. I can't make any guarantees of its structural integrity.
Whatever remains of it remains on it. It was my father's. It is somewhat of sentimental value.
I understand. Ensign Johansson, attach a tractor beam to the D7, please.
Johansson says, "Aye, aye, sir." Tractor beam commencing.
All right, Lord Karat. This nebula is not conducive to the health of my ship. Let's get the search going.
Uh, if you don't mind, Captain, as he kind of steps up there, kind of looks at the view screen, closes his eyes for a moment, and then points. Proceed on a course that way.
Since the Klingon is in front of him and he can't see it, Perron will just kind of smile at that and say, Ensign Vogel, speed at your discretion.
Whenever he closed his eyes and did the thing, did I feel anything?
A sense of surety, like that is the path.
But I didn't like nothing extra, like something beyond him.
No.
Cool.
Lieutenant Ryan, let's keep active scans going, not just for this world we're looking for, but feed any sensor data you get on the gravitational eddies that you can use to assist Ensign Vogel. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Let's keep the ship at yellow alert.
Aye, sir. Setting a course for that way.
I seem to
And
remember
Vogel will
from
engage
biography that away was Captain Kirk's, one of Captain Kirk's favorite directives.
Captain Kirk. Formidable enemy. During that time.
An interesting reference, since the last known journey to Kud-Itu was under his command. It was, of course, a false planet. It was not Kud-Itu, nor was it Shakari. It was an imposter.
Oh, you mean that mission? We don't talk about that mission, Commander.
Is there any particular reason why?
Yes, we prefer to think that it didn't happen.
Solak just sort of shakes his head and shrugs and moves on.
Vogel will just kind of look at the Klingon, kind of puzzled, kind of in disbelief.
And as she's turning back, I will lock eyes with Vogel and just not quite do an eye roll, but you know the look where someone wants to do an eye roll but can't? It's that look.
Vogel will turn to Rye. Check your sensors.
Yep, pulling up, just checking the sensors.
Just so she could see the same thing I'm seeing.
You're seeing a clear path the way he pointed, right?
Now you understand my disbelief.
Okay, that's. I'm just gonna press more buttons.
So, Lord
Lieutenant,
Conrad, tell me about your family's journey in search of QA2.
It started with my father. He always wanted to find it. Unfortunately, he never got the chance. The visions I have are of him telling me of its location. He wants me to find it in his stead. An honor that I am willing to take.
is your father still alive?
No, he perished long ago.
So the visions of your long dead father are guiding you to this location.
Yes, and
Most interesting.
as is the rest of my ancestors.
Solok looks at the captain and he just sort of has this inquisitive look on his face that, interesting.
Do you get much pushback or resistance from other Klingons on your journey, or is it considered an honorable quest, something worthy to go after?
Ever since the incident with Captain Kirk, it has been labeled as a foolish errand for those who undertake it. Many have journeyed to this location and have, well, perished on their quest.
It is consistent across multiple cultures and civilizations. Captain, the search for Eden is a common mythology amongst many advanced civilizations, and many also view that search as a folly, a useless endeavor.
Well, Commander, one person's useless endeavor is another person's adventure.
I can see that to an extent. What I don't seem to understand is how we would get to this location, simply traveling in the general direction that we are going in right now. It would take an untold number of years' time that we cannot calculate in order to come to the desired location. This would suggest to me that there would be something else that would lead us there. Wormhole, spatial anomaly, something that is not yet clear to us.
It's possible. That's the adventure part, Commander.
You will forgive me, my lord. My culture and my species are somewhat, how should I say this, skeptical of myths such as Shakari and Kuritu. I feel that it is unlikely that we are able to find your location unless there's something that changes. But we will endeavor to help you to get there.
Just
You say that. Sorry.
go ahead.
You say that, Commander, and yet there are quite a bit of Vulcan mysticism within Vulcan belief systems. Things like the Vulcan Katra. Many would think of that as spiritual myth, and yet Ambassador Spock was brought back from the dead, was he not?
Yes, that was proven to be empirically factual based upon that incident and other incidences involving Katra. This is different. This is a mythical location, a place of creation, so to speak, that many cultures believe in. But yet none of those cultures have been able to identify the specific place that Eden is. Many feel that it is a state of mind, something within an individual, rather than a physical place that one can go to, or that it ever existed in the first place. Earth, for example, has its Garden of Eden, but there is no archaeological evidence or scientific evidence of any kind to suggest that the Garden of Eden ever existed. In fact, most scientific and archaeological evidence and geological evidence shows that Eden never existed.
Now that's what the science says, Commander. But if you've read that particular story, humans weren't meant to ever find Eden. It was lost to them. Lord Karat, do you ever worry that QA2 is lost to the Klingons, like Eden is to Earthers?
No. You forget, Captain, that we Klingons killed our gods. But the path to QE2 is only for those who truly believe.
Well, I can see that you are certainly a true believer. Lieutenant Rye, anything on the sensors to give us some indication if we're headed in the right direction or near something?
Do you need to roll for that?
No, but I did give you like the information before, which you can.
Okay. And I'm also sorry my headset cut out for the last half of your question.
I believe the captain asked if there's any anomalies that might indicate that they're close or near this fabled.
Uh,
Or on the right path to somewhere?
well, we're on the somehow clear path. There's no gravitational anomalies this way at all.
Now that is interesting. What are the odds of that, Commander Solak?
The odds of what, sir?
The odds of finding clear sailing in the middle of this nebula.
Based upon our current calculations, I estimate that clear sailing odds would be 4,267,022.5 to 1.
0.6.
In that case, remind me to buy a lottery ticket when we get home.
Captain, did you ever see an old Earth movie called The Wizard of Oz?
Are you about to tell me we're not in Kansas anymore?
Or that we're off to see the wizard.
There is a flying monkey species on the planet Ceralis 4.
Which, by the way, if you have not seen the Tellarite rendition of that, you have not lived.
The flying monkey or the entire show?
Oh, they have an entire stage play. It's impressive.
Commander Solak, what's our status as far as shields and hull integrity? We still holding steady?
GM, what is our status?
Other than the hull breach, you're holding steady.
Other than the hull breach, Captain, which repair teams are currently working on, we are holding steady. We are also towing the D7 Klingon vessel.
Out of character, the player has run out of small talk to keep up with Lord Karath, and
As you start continue the journey, and everyone on the bridge, you start to hear like sounds of. I'm not gonna say chanting, but like sounds like Klingon whispers, like whispers in Klingon, hearty laughter and cups, and Krath goes, "Do you hear those songs, Captain? We're getting close."
And these are not coming from any of the Klingons on the ship right now.
Correct.
well, this is becoming a common theme on this ship these days.
Solok checks his panel to see if there is any abnormal energy or radiation that is coming or emanating or hitting the ship.
Or I would kind of like to open up her mind a bit and see if she senses anything. Again, extra. Out in her limited span.
And Vogel's going to try very hard to silence the voices in her head.
That's just called vodka, dear.
At this point, Captain Perone is considering having the Jolly Roger painted on the hull.
GM, is there any abnormal radiation or energy that's bombarding the ship right now?
I'm just gonna set typing that out. All of a sudden, like on the view screen, you see this almost giant swirl plasma thing sort of like appear in front of the ship.
Ensign Vogel, let's all stop. Lieutenant Ray, let's get us a scan of that. What are we looking at?
Is that going to be a sensor scan, Captain? No, GM, sorry.
Your sensors show nothing.
We're, nope. Hold on. Sorry. I speak neurodivergent. Give me a minute. No, nothing, Captain. We're beholding nothing.
Fascinating.
Did I get anything from, like, reaching out, like, emotionally? I guess the answer to that question.
Worthy space travelers, you've come to the gates of Kotu, but only those who dare pass the trials may enter. I only see some of you are Klingons. A Vulcan half-breed in humans, no less.
And yet we brave this journey along with our Klingon guides. And what not might your name be, Gatekeeper?
I am the guardian of Katu. I am Karath. Now I'm stumbling on the Klingon names I created. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to be able to say any of them, so it's good.
Karath. Guardian of this place.
Solok
Only the
attempts to
worthy.
take it.
Only the worthy may enter.
Solok attempts to take a life form reading from the entity or the
And
gatekeeper.
do I feel him there?
You feel this ominous presence there. In terms for life signs, you don't detect any.
Solok turns to the captain. No detectable life sign, Captain.
And yet, is there, whatever it is.
Oh, this just gets more interesting every moment. Karath, and what trials face us as we journey to Q2?
You'll see. If you wish to progress, I will open the gate and allow you to proceed. Forewarn, if you do so, your journey will end here. Should you fail.
Well, then open the gates, Guardian. We didn't come all this way just to turn back.
As you wish. As he disappears. As a
Permission? Go
blue
ahead.
flash sort of just waves to the entire ship.
Flash of what?
Just an ominous energy. I forgot to remove him because I thought he was going to be here today. Um, as you suddenly find the ship in a dense asteroid field, surrounded by a nearby planet.
Ensign Vogel, can you pick our way through that asteroid field?
Vogel?
You want me to run a sensor scan while we're waiting?
Yeah, I think Vogel's having headset issues.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi.
And Vogel would have said when she appeared in this minefield, where did this come from? Setting evasive actions. And then we'll start trying to pick a way through.
Speed at your discretion, Ensign.
All right, we're going to do a slight extended task here for the navigation to this dense asteroid field. This will be a daring plus con, assisted by the ship's engines plus con. And then someone else can assist if they want with sensors. Difficulty 3, work 14, magnitude is 3 with the resistance of 1.
I can assist with sensors. That's fine.
Would you accept my control attribute as she's trying to do this cautiously?
Oh, whoops, I forgot. There's also intervals, so you have 10 intervals to complete this. It will take you an extra interval to do it cautiously.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
Just like one interval or like for per every roll.
It'll cost you 3 intervals instead of 2. So you'd have like
Did I hear
normally.
a time limit in there though?
Yeah, you have total of 10 intervals to complete it.
What's the rest of the attributes, just so I can see? Looking at it, I'll just stick to daring.
Okay.
All right, so I'll give you a threat and 2 momentum. Just to try to build some more. All right, I'll re-roll one of the 18s. That should be 2 successes. I forgot to hit focus, so I'm at 3.
Okay. I just need the ship, and then if someone's assisting.
Yeah, for my assist, can I use my focus in stellar cartography? Hello?
Sure.
Sorry. Wanted to make sure I didn't suddenly blank out.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Ship.
Somebody could grab the ship, please.
I get it. I'm just working and pressing buttons.
All right, so I get a bonus from Untapped, and then I get a bonus for Flight Controller. I don't think I'll get one for Visit Every Star, however. So I have 2 momentum and 2 bonus, yeah?
Yeah. I was just double checking flight controller. I forgot that was added for 2E. So do you wish to spend the bonus one or your bonus to half the interval?
Well, let me see what the result is.
So far you got 3 on the work track. So you've done currently 3 impact.
Yeah. Let me use the 2 bonus to do an extra work, and then I'll use one of our momentums for the cutting of the interval.
Okay.
So that should put us at 10 work, or 10 work remaining. Then I'll use the momentum. Roll 3 dice.
Three momentum gained while you're untapped.
That's my untapped. You get a threat.
Yay.
And then I still have 1 bonus. I think I'll just do the same thing. I used the bonus and then 2 momentum this time. Do the 4 work and cut the interval. So that's 8 intervals left and 6 work remaining.
You've done 8 intervals. You have 6 or 6 left. So like you had 10 to start with. You halved it, and I rounded up. So 'cause it doesn't. It's actually half interval. Or
Well, I didn't do the control thing. So these should only be costing 2.
okay, so you have currently 7 intervals left.
Well, I cut them both times. Right, we started with 10.
Yeah, it's costing you. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it'd be 8.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. But that looks right.
Yes, you've done 8. You have 6 work left. Just
All
save
right,
it.
I'll use the momentum again.
1 sec though. There's a breakthrough.
Uh-huh.
Karath, the guardian's name seems similar to yours. Are you descended from him?
We're all descendants of some Klingon or another after so many generations, Captain. Um, as you navigate hastily through this asteroid field, the density of the asteroids becomes increasing the resistance by 1. So your resistance is now at 2. Yes, if you wish to continue rolling, rolling and then also role playing, I guess you can. But yeah, Karath gave you his answer.
Such that it was.
It could be that the Guardian chose the appropriate form of an ancestor long ago in my past.
It's very possible. What do you make of this, Commander Solak? Besides the need to increase power to the structural integrity field, of course.
That, sir, but insufficient data for other things.
You're doing good so far, Vogel. Keep it up. Let's see you live up to that best helmsman in the quadrant. Maybe the best helmsman in the quadrant, but the worst Wi-Fi connection.
All right, I don't know what's going on with my stuff. So I'll say, Captain, this part of the minefield's getting a little more dense. So I'm going to back off some speed, give myself more time to react.
At your discretion.
And GM, if I could do the thing we talked about earlier, switch to control at increased interval.
Sure.
All right, and then I'll use the momentum and roll 3 dice. I will fish on the 18.
Gain 2. Currently 3 work.
All right, hold on. That's for untapped. So I get 2 bonus.
I have 10 scrutiny.
Yeah, and then with intense scrutiny for
It's
control,
4.
I ignore resistance.
Well, you have 2 work left, just so you know.
I'll use my 2 bonus and then the 2 momentum, and let's just finish her up.
All right. So it took you had multitude of intervals left, but you expertly fly through, avoiding all the rest of the breakthroughs. Uh, as you come to an end out of the asteroid field. Suddenly, all your visions fade, and you find yourself on a world.
We're just teleporting there, like just bang, we're there.
Yes.
Solak
Without
says.
Klingons?
Yeah. Solak says out loud, "Is this the reference to Kansas that you referred to earlier?"
Oh, we are definitely no longer in Kansas.
Nor are we no longer on the Navajo, it would seem.
That's what we get for following yellow brick roads.
I find it interesting that we were brought here without Lord Karath or any of his crew.
And
Do we have any?
I'll point over across the lake. Captain, I think they're over there.
Do we have any equipment on us, GM, like tricorders, phasers,
Nope.
anything like that? Captain, we have no equipment. No tricorders, phasers of any kind.
Well, I guess we do this the old-fashioned way.
As you see it towards the kind of center of this spire, this location is hot, extremely hot, as you see flowing lava, or rivers of lava and steam rise from the pool of water. The Klingon statue in the center, its gaze begins to look at the two parties, speaking in a loud voice. Both of you carry physical and emotional. Recite the deeds of your ancestors. Only true warriors may continue along the path.
I find his remark about emotion insulting.
Okay. Perone will begin talking about his family's past and on Sicily. He'll just go far back and bring it through various revolutions, various places, various times. Sicily has changed hands over the centuries. We'll talk about his own adventures as a helmsman aboard the Pegasus and Lakota and the various adventures that he's been on, and including the story of how he lost his original right leg. I forgot he had a prosthetic up until now.
Solok looks at Perone and says, "Should I go next, Captain?"
Yes. I'd hate to continue this journey by myself.
And Solok says, "My species are not warriors. We do not see war as a logical endeavor. My ancestors are philosophers, teachers, and inventors. That is the, to use the term that you would use, the honor that we see in existence, to learn, to grow, and to understand. War is unnecessary in our culture, so therefore there are no warriors that I'm aware of in my ancestors. We are not warlike, though there have been exceptions. I have been in battle, though it is not anything that I have chosen. It is always something that has been thrust upon me. I do find war and battle abhorrent, and I do not care for them. Therefore, I do not see myself as a warrior, or my species or my kind as warriors. We are inventors, philosophers, and scientists." Solok looks at the captain and says, "I don't know how successful that was, sir, but it is the truth."
I'm not sure how successful my speech was. Is there a path to where the Klingons are on the other side of this body of water?
No. I mean, you could walk through the water, but you can see the level of steam rising up. You could feel the intense heat from it. It seems like you can see the Klingons speak, but you do not hear their words.
Lieutenant Rye, your turn.
Rye says nothing.
Vogel, got a story to tell?
Is my mic still working?
It is.
Yes.
Vogel will kind of stand and think to herself for a minute, and then she'll give out a deep breath. I carry the scars and moments of helplessness, memories that remind me of the price we sometimes pay for duty. But I also carry the knowledge that fear can be tempered by strength, and that my fear doesn't need to define me. I'm ready to bear what I must, to honor those who came before me, and to support those who stand beside me.
Well said, Ensign.
Thank you, Captain.
The statue gaze turns towards Lieutenant Rye. Lieutenant Rye, give me fitness plus command difficulty 2.
This is going to go well. Oh, actually, that did go pretty well.
You feel, as you can try to control yourself, you feel an intense heat overwhelm your body for a moment. As the statue continues to gaze upon you and ask, "Why do you not speak?"
Rye continues to be silent. She doesn't respond to it. She's staring at it, but she is not responding to it. Well, staring is not glaring. She is not okay, and she is just locked gaze with the statue and is not really reacting to anything else.
Problem, Lieutenant?
She doesn't even acknowledge that the captain spoke.
Okay, so you continue not to speak.
I do continue not to speak.
Ferron will just turn to her and Lieutenant Tavriel Rye, you will respond. Whatever it is, snap out of it, Lieutenant.
Yeah, no, she's still just locked on the statue and not. You're not quite sure if she doesn't hear you exactly, or if she's literally ignoring you.
That Prun will soften his voice a bit, lay a hand on her shoulder and say, Lieutenant, sometimes the battles we fight are the ones in our minds and our spirits rather than with the strength of arms. Just speak from the heart, like Vogel did. You will be fine.
Can I request that the captain and I roll off to see what Bry would do?
Normally in these cases, I usually don't allow that. It's through role play that I try to let you guys kind of solve, player for player, social conflict.
I would describe it to you that understand that Perone, when he wants to, his voice is both commanding and soft and comforting at the same time. He has a he has a bit of a way about him that uh, draws confidence and inspiration in those around him. It's why his presence of command in game terms is 17.
Yeah, which is great, but I've been rolling. eh, I have been on my end keeping track of her temper triggers, and she's close to Vulcan raging out. So I'm trying to see if your words are getting through to her. Like you're in that space where you don't hear anything and you're seeing red, and I'm trying to decide if you reaching out is enough.
You've been rolling for all of these too, right?
Mm-hmm. I have on my own dice at home. I have rolled 3 20s back to back.
Well, think of it this way: a TTRPG is an adventure in joint storytelling. Which outcome is better for the story?
They both have merit.
Just roll the dice and let the dice decide.
Well, that was a 10, so entirely unhelpful. No, Bryce still doesn't respond.
So you still don't respond?
Still don't respond. You feel her tenseness under your shoulder and it doesn't alleviate, and she just still is locked on the statue.
Guardian, what is your judgment of our crew? It takes a strong warrior to stand up to those who seem more powerful than them and refuse to give in to their demands.
A warrior unable to face or acknowledge their past walks the path of dishonor. Both on Solak, Perone, and Vogel, you see a mark on your body. It looks like sort of an ash type symbol in Klingon. As the vision suddenly, you can feel the intense heat as your eyes close, and you find yourself elsewhere.
Um, do we see anything not pictured?
This is what you see pictured. The air feels thick as a fog sets over the landscape. You see a towering mountain that almost seems artificial in nature. A voice of the Guardian speaks. From the blood of ancestors, the path is dawn. Honor shields the heart while pride binds the dawn. In shadows of valor, true strength must reside. But when blood calls to blood, will you stand or divide? Seek not glory that fades with the flame, for only together may you honor your name. Now take these words and journey on. The path of Cthulhu is yet unwon.
Is Rye still here with us? Like in this scene or whatever?
She is. Rai, since you are, you don't have the Vulcan stuff. Currently, you have an increased complication range of 1 for all tasks.
Okay.
Rye, are you alright?
She's standing there very still and her eyes are closed, and again, you're not sure if you're getting through.
Right. I had a hard time following the narrative. Um, was it a challenge to stay to journey together to the mountain? Never mind. It's in the chat. Vogel, Solak, thoughts?
It would seem that this poetry is suggesting that we stay together.
I agree.
And that we should journey on, for the path to Q2 is yet not attained. I don't know what will happen here, Captain, but that is the meaning that I take from this passage.
Well, the most significant feature here is that mount there. I suggest we travel in that direction, but before we do, we must be together.
Rye, in her current state, I do not sense that she is with us.
She seems lost within herself, yes. I suppose, Commander Solak, that you are trained in the Vulcan mind meld.
I am incapable of doing mind mounts, Captain.
If y'all don't do anything else, I'll say like another minute and she'll open her eyes.
Well, let's begin journeying towards the mountain. Vogel, take her hand and see if she will be led. Allow herself to be led.
Is Rye conscious? Is she there with us, or does she just have her eyes open?
Well, when she opens her eyes, she's. I mean, you know that she's there. It's not like she's out of body. She's opened her eyes and she's acknowledging there. We can go on. It's like she's got a very hard, very determined, very dead look going on in her face right now, but she is there. And she'll follow you if you guys lead on. But she's not talking. She's just very still and very like trying to gain control again kind of face.
Well, if she'll follow, then Perone will start them on the path towards the mountain, looking around to see if there's something that seems like an alternative to that, or if the mountain really seems to be the destination, keeping his eye out for danger or interesting things, because it's an adventure.
And Vogel will just grab Rye's arm and kind of lead her in the direction the captain's going.
Vogel, when you touch Rye's hand, you feel like your hand instantly start to burn.
Vogel will bear it.
Take 2 stress.
Is there like a reaction? Like, does she physically, like, is there smoke? Does she physically start to burn?
It just feels intensely hot when she touches you.
Okay.
And it's more of a mental strain. Like instinctively she's fighting to let go.
Okay.
Vogel is more concerned about you at the moment than her own discomfort.
Okay. And we can walk on.
As you continue your journey towards the mountain, the vision starts to change. Captain Perone, you find yourself alone. Soon as the vision starts, you see crew members of fellow Starfleet officers. Wearing an older uniform. You sense you recognize the place, that of a Federation merchant vessel.
Okay. Do I recognize it as a generic merchant vessel, or do I recognize it as a specific merchant vessel?
Insight Command Diff 1. I'll just use this token. As you see down the corridor, sorry, I'm just double checking notes. You see a man's like, why didn't you save us? You had your chance. You could have saved all of us.
Do I recognize the man?
You get a fence glimpse as you kind of feel your leg. Your prosthetic leg, your leg feels whole, as if the prosthetic is gone. You recall this was your memory includes that this was from a merchant vessel you helped them to help rescue.
You are a reflection of my past, young man. I did save you.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure you got all of us? There were more than 12. Some of us were left behind.
I saved those I could before my injury. Are you saying you are the spirit of one of those left behind?
I am, yet you have forgotten about me.
I've forgotten no one. I don't know that I ever knew your name, but I remember the names of the lives lost more longer than I remember the names of those I saved.
And how do you honor the dead?
Honor those left behind by learning from the mistakes that were made during that rescue mission, by study, by figuring out what I could have done better. Those are the lessons learned hardest. Those are the lessons that are never forgotten.
Give me Presence Command difficulty 2.
I'm going to give you a threat since there's no momentum to spend.
Gain 2 momentum as the ghostly image of this man. I see. Do not forget us, Captain. We will always be a part of you. As the ghostly image disappears and your vision fades. Solak, as you come from the fields, you find yourself in a haze, unsure of where you're at. Suddenly, you're confronted by a Vulcan woman who comes close to your vision.
Do I recognize this woman?
You do.
Who is she?
Your mother.
Interesting. You are a vision of my mother.
A
I am
vision.
Solak. Yes,
Yes,
it
my
is
son.
illogical that
Go ahead.
my mother would be here. This is likely some sort of illusion or trick in order for me to communicate with you as a way to test me.
Your logic is outstanding as always.
Thank you. So, what questions do you wish to ask me so that I may proceed through this test?
Your heart thinks ill of me. Are you worried?
I have no. Go ahead, sorry.
Does your heart not ache to see me again?
It is agreeable to see an image of my mother. It has been some time, but my heart does not ache, nor does it feel anything at this particular moment. My mother is gone, disappeared. You are not my mother. Therefore, I would have no feelings for you whatsoever. Even if you were my mother in this particular context, I also would not have feelings. They are completely they are completely foreign to me.
Yet your part of you has summoned me here. Surely there is
How is
something deep within your mind.
how is that possible? How could you go into the recesses of my mind and be able to conjure forth such images? Telepathy?
Your assumptions may be accurate or inaccurate. I do not hold those answers for you.
I see. Well, it is agreeable to see an image of my mother. You speak like her. Even your cadence is similar to hers, at least from what I can remember. It has been some time. GM, out of character, is this image of his mother aged, or is it exactly the same as he remembered from when he was a child?
Uh, exactly as you remembered from as a child.
Okay. In fact, the very image of you right now is the last image that I can remember of my mother, an indication that you indeed are not my mother. But a very effective copy, I must say.
You have grown incredibly logical.
I am a Vulcan. I was raised in a logical environment. Starfleet has allowed me to continue my understanding of logic. Logic is the best path, the only path that I'm aware of. It was a path that you once believed in, or at the very least, the real version of my mother. It is interesting to see how this copy is different in some way.
How so?
I can't quite put my finger on it. My mother was logical, yet prone to emotion, which is why she was banished. You don't quite match up with my memory of her.
Maybe I'm the memory you wish her to be, the one that would remain in your life.
That is certainly possible. Though I don't seem to know I feel that I have a wish for her to be in my life. It would be desired in some way. But if it is not the case, then it is not the case. If you are, in some way, a reflection of my mother, do you know where she is?
I do not hold the answers that you seek.
Then you do not provide any information that I require, other than the acceptance that I have succeeded at this trial.
Have you? I am still here.
Then what do I need to do in order to succeed?
Perhaps look inward. Embrace a part of you that you deny.
And that part would be?
You tell me.
He looks inward. And he looks at his mother and says, there is a part of me that wishes to know where she is and to know what she is doing and whether or not she is all right. I cannot explain why I have this sense that I need to know this, but I am curious. These are things I need to know, want to know, have to know.
She approaches you, places her hand upon your cheek. Perhaps in time we'll meet again. And her hand disappears and fades away. Lieutenant Wright, you find that you are no longer grasping the hand of Ensign Vogel.
What do I see?
As you come to, you're to look at the notes again. You find yourself on the decks of a ship, and another person appears, someone you've known long ago. For a Vulcan, you're quite emotional, right? Maybe that's what I like about you.
She's staring at him and very silently just has tears running down the side of her cheek. But smiles and says, well, if I were a Vulcan, that'd be true, right?
Still can't let go, huh? It's not your fault, you know.
That's not true.
You're still going to blame yourself, I see. Then how is it not true?
I thought of a way to fix it after. But not then. Not when it mattered.
Sometimes the solution to the problem only comes after a great catastrophe. It's not your fault. Blame the pirates that took my life. If you need someone
Oh, I
to
do.
blame.
I do, and that's the problem.
Cannot keep living on with this regret, or it will continue to eat you up. You need to let go.
He said to the Vulcan.
This is one part of the trial you cannot refuse. If you don't, well, I guess I'll have a friend to accompany me on for eternity.
Oh, that would really piss off my mother, huh? What's this trial?
You tell me.
I'd like to punch you in the face for dying on me, but that feels irreverent.
There are other ways to deal with anger.
I tried the Vulcan way. It doesn't go anywhere. It just sits in my chest. It doesn't fade. It just sits and it builds. I have nowhere to put it.
Then you need to vent it out before it eats you up alive.
Where do you even start?
Like all journeys, at the beginning.
I know it's probably not you, but it is good to see you again.
Likewise. Tell me, you've made friends now, have you not?
I'm trying. Vogel's pretty cool. Bought her a dress. That sounds weird when I say it out loud, but it's not supposed to be. You'd think reading people's emotions would make it easier. It doesn't.
I'm sure the gift of kindness was. I'm sure she was grateful for it.
Do you forgive me?
I never blamed you.
Well, I guess it's a start.
Question is, do you forgive yourself?
I think I'm starting to. Oh, the captain's gonna be so pissed.
Then that's all that matters. Good luck, Rye.
See you later, Renata.
And the vision fades away as you disappear somewhere else. Vogel, as you fade away from the distant land into a black vision void, you see a familiar face.
Kristoff, where am I?
Pretty spooky place, sister. Still walking the path of Starfleet, I see.
Yes, you know this was a dream of mine ever since I was a child.
Yeah, you can't even. You can bear to walk yourself onto a transporter pad, huh?
I've gotten better with it. Come on, you know what that did to me.
Yeah. Never thought my older sister here would be scared of a few little disintegrating molecules. Looked up to you, you know. Hell, I tried to be you, but I just can't stand always being compared to everyone else in the family.
You know that's not true.
Oh, come on, you hear the way mom and dad talk.
Starfleet has just been a way of life for our family, Kristoff. But it doesn't mean that they don't love you any less.
Yeah, the son who couldn't hack it.
You just have your own ideas on how your life should be. There's nothing wrong with that.
Maybe you thought maybe I just want to be left alone, you know? Walk my own path. So why do you and everyone else in this stinking family have to try and keep telling me what to do?
I supported your decision to leave. I supported your decision to find your own path. But do not think for a second that I'm going to let my little brother out of my sight.
See, that's the problem. How can I walk my own path when you're sitting here constantly trying to look for me and judge me?
Not judging you, Kristoff. I just want to be sure that you're going to be okay.
You sure that's how, maybe you don't understand anything about me.
Well, why don't you tell us? Damn it, Kristoff, we're your family.
Yet everyone keeps trying to push me to walk the same path as you. You need to let me go. I need to walk on my own 2 feet.
And you should do that. But I'm always going to wonder how you are, if you're okay, if you're safe.
You need to stop worrying about me. I'll be fine. Sure, I may get into trouble, but it's at least the trouble that I make for myself. I don't need anyone to bail me out.
It is your life, Christoph. And I wouldn't even pretend to begin to try to dictate how you should live it. But just know I'm your sister, and I love you. And that you do not get to take away from me.
Maybe you're right. Well, be seeing you, sister. As he walks off and fades away. As the four of you find yourselves at a large gate.
Solok looks at the captain and says, "Captain, are you all right?"
I'm not injured.
"I am uninjured myself. Rye, Vogel?"
I wrote everybody a written apology, but I'm okay. She also has tears still on her face. She's not actively crying, but she was crying, and you can tell.
And you can see the tears on Vogel's face, too.
It would seem that we all had some sort of an emotional experience.
It would.
Solok looks at the gate and then looks at the captain and says, "Captain." And then he sort of nudges his head to take a look at the gate.
Well, it looks like we passed that challenge.
Poof.
Warriors. The gate you seek will open to none alone. In silence of stars, one voice is stone. With blades raised high, yet hearts laid bare. Only journeyed hands may the worthy fare. Bring forth 3 names, not for power or pride, but one to honor, one to serve, one to guide. Each name a gift, each voice a pledge. 3 hearts united, bound by a single edge. Speak these names as one, with purpose as your guide, and only then shall Katutu gates open wide.
It would seem that the next trial involves us all speaking 3 names in unison.
It also seems like one of us will be staying behind.
It says to speak 3 names, Captain. It does not necessarily mean that those 3 names be us.
And even if they did intend us to leave somebody behind, remember the riddle at the start. We must all be united in this.
We will not be leaving anyone behind. Right, Captain?
If given the option, that is correct.
I see nothing in this riddle that says that the names must be the 3 of the 4 of us. There is 1 to honor, 1 to serve, and 1 to guide, and they must be spoken in unison.
Yeah, it seems we have to hold hands, say the name, and walk through the gate together after we have said the names. But we have to agree on 3 names?
That is possible interpretation.
One name to serve, 1 to honor, and 1 to guide.
Well, this is a Klingon world. When it comes to honor, or one to be honored, I can't think of any less than Kalis. When I think of service, I think of, well, Ambassador Spock.
But so far the trials have been specific to us.
Indeed, I think these names have to be personal in nature, Captain, not necessarily historical figures.
Perhaps it's even simpler than that.
How do you mean?
What if the name to honor is our ship, the Navajo?
Indeed.
The one to serve, the Federation. The one to guide, the Prime Directive.
These are not specifically names, but I do see the logic in this.
No, that makes sense. I'm not sure about the last one, but the first 2 make sense.
Then what would guide us? What guides Starfleet officers?
I'm just thinking that the one principle that guides all Starfleet officers would be the Prime Directive. It is what we all must fall back to and rely on when dealing with issues, known and unknown. It is our guiding principle.
It might just be like the past, the present, the future. We honor the past, we serve the present, we guide the future.
What are your thoughts, Captain?
That makes sense.
Vogel will nod in agreement.
I see the logic in it, sir.
Nope, Perone will hold out his hands then, shall we?
Solak will take the hand of the person next to him.
I'll take Solak's hand and the captain's other hand.
So what are the 3?
I think it was past, present, future.
We honor the past. We serve the
Serve the
present.
present.
Guide the
And
future.
guide. Sure.
That was well put. That was a good one.
I just hope it works.
As you approach the gate, the guardian sticks his hand out. I must halt you here. Commend you on your worthiness so far. But your ideals are not for Kotul.
Why not? They're not. They're not solely our ideals. Do not Klingons honor their past, serve their houses, and guide the young to do the same?
Bring forth 3 names, not for power or pride, one to honor, one to serve, and one to guide.
I guess he is looking for names, Captain. Individuals.
Well, then obviously it's got to be the 3 of you.
Why would that be?
Because of the statue.
I fail to understand what you mean. The statue. Are you
I may
suggesting?
have passed the second challenge, but I didn't pass the first.
I see nothing in this passage or in what the Guardian is saying here that would disqualify you from being one to honor, one to serve, or one to guide. I do not see the logic in that. Captain, it might just be as simple as coming up with 3 names. Names that we feel are consistent with the criteria. One to honor, one to serve, one to guide.
No, that was the direction I was going in with my initial suggestion of Kalis and Ambassador Spock. And Spock at one point served as a teacher at Starfleet Academy. He was a guide and a mentor for many young Vulcans. We won't count Valeris.
But then there is the one to guide.
Well, wouldn't that be Ambassador Spock?
I thought you said that he was the one to serve.
Maybe I've changed my mind.
I would suggest an alternative. If you wish to go with Kalis as one to honor and Spock as one to serve, then I would say that Lieutenant Rye is one to guide.
So that just feels like you're looping that back in.
Sorry, a few people were talking there at once.
Go ahead, Cap.
Why?
Well, I look at it from a logical point of view. You're using historical figures here with Kalis and with Spock. Yet there is the one to guide. I would imagine that guiding would have to be someone present, someone here with us. There could be you, yes, but I sense something different about Rye. A Vulcan and a Betazoid. There is something unique about her, unlike the rest of us. That is worth following in some way, I imagine.
Well, if we're going to use one of the three, if we're going to use one of the three of us, then perhaps all three names should be those of us.
Well, then the serve would obviously be you, Captain.
Perhaps Vogel's the one that guided us to the asteroid belt.
That is true.
I don't know about everything else, but I think honor should go to Commander Solak.
I
And why
agree.
would that be?
Well, beyond the personal reasons of honoring our shared heritage, you the way you lead is honorable by all
I would not.
standards.
Interesting. That is not how I would qualify it. But thank you for that compliment. I believe this gives us 3 names, Captain.
Well, we shall try again then. And Perot will hold out his hands again.
State the 3 names.
Perot will speak up.
Yeah,
Solak, honor.
I think we're supposed to say them all together. I
Oh
believe,
yeah,
right?
we say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say them all together. Is it Solak for honor? Who was to serve?
Captain Perron is to serve.
Perone to serve, Vogel to guide.
No, because Solak, you're the one that suggested Rye to be the person to serve.
I actually
No,
suggested that she'd be the one to guide.
but we changed it to Vogel.
Change it to Vogel. Yeah.
All right.
Which really makes sense because guiding, she could do the guiding, but also we're guiding her because she's the young one, the ensign. So either way works for Vogel.
He stops you. Again.
Well, we tried.
I will let you guys do a roll for a hint if you want.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Give me whoever wishes to take the roll, and then I'll message you the hint on this. Only one person can do this. Give me reason insight command difficulty 2.
Captain, is your total better on that?
I don't know. I only see my own character sheet.
Clarification. I have a 13 for Insight Command.
Do you have a 15?
Okay, yeah, I think you should roll, Captain.
All right. Take a threat just in case I need it for bold. You said difficulty 3?
Yeah, but I'm gonna spend 2 threat.
Wait. You said 2, right?
Yeah, difficulty 2, but I'm up the complication range to 2.
Well, it's a good thing I gave you a threat then. I'll reroll that one.
Yeah.
All right, gain a momentum.
Okay. Well, we've tried it. We've tried it one way. We've tried it Peron's way. Why don't we give Vogel's idea suggest a try?
What was Ensign Vogel's suggestion?
Is my mic still working?
It is.
Yeah, because that clue. That's about all I got out of that clue.
So the one to honor would be our ship. The one to serve would be the Federation, and the one to guide is the Prime Directive.
I really like that one.
All right, let's do that.
Let's give it a shot.
Speak the three names.
We go with that suggestion while holding hands.
As you walk forward, you pass through him, and then you find yourselves back on the bridge of the Navajo. With the view screen as your ship hovers over a planet with twin moons in the Rolor Nebula in the distance. Ah, I see you return, Captain. Look, we've made it. The ancestors guide us well. Glory be to us and our houses.
Did all
At
of,
my screen. Sorry.
did all of your family make it?
Yes. And I see your crew has as well. Come, Captain, let us drink blood wine and celebrate our great victory.
You you want to do that before we go down there?
I'm sure there's the Grace Hall. He kind of points on the map. Should be there.
Well, the Great Hall sounds like the place where we want to drink blood wine.
Rightfully so, Captain. And with that, I think we'll bring the session to a close.